Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Austin Reed. Connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Austin Reed On Air. Guess who my guest is today? Darren Redmond. Hello, my friend. It's been a long time, maybe 3-4 months since we've last
at least
done an interview.
Tell you can bring a smile to a sleeping person's face. No, you really can. You're just a good soul.
Thank you. You are too. I appreciate that. What's up? A lot has been going on.
Yes, a lot is going on. We just had the release of the documentary on over-the-air television on KMPH. We talk about that. That's been going on great. We'll have some announcements regarding the podcast very soon.
Okay.
And we're actually in production on the second documentary, Don't Hide the Scars Project, Volume 2.
Already? What has the response been thus far from your documentary? You know, working with KMPH, working with Payne.
Working with Austin Reed. Yeah. We've been on the show. You've been on our show.
Yeah.
Getting the word out. Yeah. Well, you know how hard you work, and you know the passion behind it. And if you have not heard the story that Austin tells on the podcast with us, please go to our podcast, Don't Hide the Scars podcast with Austin Reed. It is one of strength and redemption. So what happens, and you sit with people every day.
Right.
So you're a wonderful person to talk to about this. We sit with people every week, and they have these compelling stories. But the bottom line is 45 minutes is not enough. Then you put on a layer of news and reality and the changing times out there.
Right.
That more people died of a fentanyl overdose between the ages of 15 and 35 than COVID in the United States. That's just fact.
Right.
And there's a story there that needs to be told. And people are like, how are you going to do it? You're not funded. You're not this. And people love to throw negative arrows at people.
Oh, I know. The hatred.
Oh, absolutely. They say they're trying to do it and they mean well. But do they? I don't know. But I can't speak for other people, but I can only speak for the mission that Flint Anderson started when he started Payne, and the people that we talk to each week and were involved in our movie. We have 3 mothers who lost their children, as you know, in the documentary. And people were like, okay, you want to do this story. And we have a few people in there who survived their addiction and now aren't just surviving, they're thriving. And people say, okay, but who should target audience? You don't want to scare children. You don't want to scare parents. I don't want to scare them, but I want to alert them. Listen, you could drive a car, and if your car doesn't have brakes, you're going to hit a wall. Yep. And we need to tell you that this is the brake pad that we're talking about. What you may learn here could save the life of somebody who lives in your house right now. Right. So we went out and we did it very organically. And we started production during the height of COVID.
Right.
So we had those restrictions. And we had 2 nights at the Maya Theater in Fresno, completely sold out, which blew people's minds. And then our good friends at KMPH and Marie Edinger, who's just a star person there.
Reporter, yeah.
Great reporter there. Picked up the mantle and spoke with the GM and said, hey, we want to run this as part of an hour, because our documentary is a half hour, and of facts for families. And they did a 30-minute special called Crisis in the Valley. Marie wrote it, produced it, directed it, hosted it on the fentanyl crisis and opioids. And there were people on it like Flint Anderson and Lisa Smith-Camp and doctors and to kind of give people that sort of informational aspect to the crisis. And our documentary that we did, Don't Hide the Scars, was from the mouths of addicts, from the mothers who've lost children. Lost children in their homes. And the response has been compelling. People want to see it again. They're talking to their schools about running it in schools.
Great.
So there's other Fox affiliated stations that want to run it. So it's a good thing. It's humbling.
Yeah. Part 2. What are people going to see?
So we sat and we had a discussion. What do we want to do next? Because we wanted to build this thing like Jenga, interchangeable parts. And Flint had this wonderful idea. Let's show people 24 hours of an addict.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like? What do we think's going on? What's going on? And I don't want to give too much away, but it's pretty compelling.
Tell me a little bit. Let's dive deeper into this fentanyl crisis. It's
Sure.
totally out of control, and
Yep.
and what we're seeing is more and more police, busting people for this, and then they get sick.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things that happen there. So there are these stories of a police officer who was around it and then went into convulsions and almost died, and then those are proven not to be true. Because what happens is, remember when we were kids? We were kids and we played the game called telephone, and these well-meaning kids, from when you told them to say, "This is a blue crayon," the last kid tells, pass down the line, they're saying, "I like my waffles with syrup." Like, how did that happen? So the stories change, like the fishtails that people have. But the truth is this: police and first responders have passed out when they've seen a lot of this stuff in the air. A lot of times it's from anxiety. We had situations, without going into detail, a few weeks ago where kids overdosed and they thought it was fentanyl, and it wasn't. It was from Xanax, as if that was okay. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, it was okay because they didn't die, but they're still bringing the Xanax in and around schools. So fentanyl is extremely dangerous. It's in everything. I was talking to a mother just last evening about fentanyl being sprinkled into gummies.
What?
Yep. Because think about this, okay? You're at home with the kids, right? Look how easy it is. How do you make a gummy? It's basically a gelatin. Well, you take Jell-O. Yeah. It's very easy to sprinkle fentanyl into that.
And the problem with that is somebody could use fentanyl and then they're dead.
Yeah, absolutely.
'Cause we don't know how much.
Right. So, yeah, we don't. Because there's so many different variables. Right. The opioid receptors that are in you. Have you taken opioids in the past? Concentration, all of this goes into play. And again, not always, because sometimes people know they're taking the fentanyl, but many times you don't know it's in there. You think that you're just crushing up some Xanax and you're snorting it and you're going to play with some Xbox. Yeah. You're not thinking of taking fentanyl. You're saying to yourself, "I wouldn't take it." Michael Williams, the star of the movie Body Brokers, and big star, he died of a cocaine overdose because the cocaine was laced with fentanyl. It happens all the time.
It is a complete crisis right now.
Oh, 100%. So what do Michael K. Williams, Prince, Michael Jackson, and more people this year than between the ages of 15 and 35 have in common? They all died from fentanyl overdose. Remember, Prince died fentanyl. Michael Jackson, fentanyl.
And that was, years ago. It wasn't as popular, but now it's.
And that was, by the way, in a controlled environment with doctors. Yeah. Do you think Shaky James up the street, who is just trying to mix it up to make some cash, is really regulating what he's putting in there? No,
absolutely not. Right.
So our documentaries want to tell these stories with harsh reality.
Right. Finally, any suggestions for parents in relation to pain? Parents and addicts in
Sure.
need. What do you want to say to parents that are struggling with their kids or whatever?
This is a wonderful resource that's not new to the neighborhood. Pain has been around since 2009. Every Wednesday night, there's a free, and what I mean by free, it's not one of these, well, it's free to show up, and then they twist your arm to make a donation. No, we're talking about free. Walk in, and it is a parent and family group. So if you have questions, you have family members that might be involved with substance issues, relatives, neighbors up the street, significant others, person you're in a relation with. You go and you talk. Now, here's the best part. And Flint brought this up beautifully the other day when I was talking to him privately. Unlike some other situations where basically you hold a stick and only you can talk and nobody can respond, no, this is true interaction. There's other people there who've lived through it or know others that went through it, and they're able to give that true, innate advice.
Right.
So you have that. You have Narcan trainings that we have, there. You have the ability to find a good rehabilitation place if you need it. Sober living. The list goes on and on.
Right. You guys are there always. And you're always answering your phone. Flint's always answering his phone
Yes.
in emergencies. If you're struggling, don't be embarrassed. And if you're a family, or if you have a family member that's struggling, Pain is the 2021 nonprofit of the year in all of California.
All of California, correct. Just to put things in perspective, and again, I'm focusing on the documentary, but last night, the call about the fentanyl-laced gummies, I got late into the evening on my private phone. Just, hey, listen, what is this accurate? Could this happen?
Right.
So, yeah.
Darren, great to see you.
Great to see you, and continue to do the work you're doing. And listen, your new news program, I don't miss it. Every night. I watch it every night.
Oh, man.
It's just a fact.
I love you.
Right back at you. I love you, too.
You're my biggest fan.
Yeah, I am.
Thank you.
Be well, my friend.
I'll see you. So, when is part 2 scheduled to come out?
It's the month of Ish. So June-ish.
I love that.
Yes.
That's totally my kind of calendar.
Yes. So like mid-June,
okay,
early July, right there.
So come back then in July or August, and
we'll talk
talk about it. So
sounds like a plan.
Good to see you. Thank you again.
Continue doing the thing, and I love that Santa cup, by the way.
Oh, I love this cup. I know we're in April, but
no, but I love it.
Well, it's so big. So
yes.
I got my coffee here, and things are good.
I listen to Christmas music 12 months out of the year. Right. I do.
All the time. I love Christmas music. I know.
Burl Ives rocks.
Oh, my favorite one is Burl Ives' "Have a Holly Jolly Christmas."
Oh, absolutely.
Also, Feliz Navidad, Cinco de Mayo. So
yes,
that's a good
absolutely.
one. All right. Thank you again, brother. Okay, I'm Austin Reed. You're watching Central Valley Talk. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll be back with more in just a bit.